Hello everyone, so we are in final part of real-time hair creation, which is hair card placements and render techniques. So in this video we are diving deep into the process of hair card placement and try to achieve likeness of our hairstyle. So the one question is, the people usually ask me that how many triangles use in this hair card to create this kind of full hairstyle, or what is the industrial standard to create one groom. And according to me, I will say there is no specific standard for it, but it really depends on the situation. Like for mobile games, it usually takes 2000 triangles or something more, something even less. But if we talk about more average and kind of more standard normal poly counts, I would say this is around 10 to 20 thousands of poly count for AAA games. So in this video we will learning everything about a hair card placements, different ways by using different software like Maya and Zbrush. So let's start with to understand the process of hair card placements. So before that, there are some important points that we should take care to create a natural look of hairstyle. So the points are something you should remember about the volume of your block out. Sometimes while placing cards, we place in such a way that it looks so flat, no volume at all. So you should make sure that your hairstyle should be volumetric and make layers in it. And second is about weight and gravity of your hair. You should always compare your work with reality reference images, or you should ask yourself, will this hairstand is same as in reality? Or you should keep checking with your realistic reference images or model hairstyle, because you should understand this kind of hairstands or hair layer has its own weight and flow. So you have to maintain these kind of flow and weight of your individual clump. Third is the most of hair strands to group each other and generate clumps. For example, you see this kind of ponytail has a big one clump, but in this one big clump there are so many small sub clumps also. So with this generated by the hair, because they tends to group each other and create some big extra forms in a secondary forms. You have to understand this. Try to make your hairstyle in very consistent way in a different form and clumps. So to get a good hairstyle, try to avoid repetition of same forms. Do not create similar pattern. Try to make different forms, like mixture of big and small clumps of forms of this kind of flow. Also the direction of clump should be different to each other. They're not same in similar way. Approximately 2 or 3 degree of difference to each clumps. So let's talk about layers. So this is a process of placing the hair cards. So let's talk about first layer of our hairstyle. So this is our called a hair cap. This cover all our scalp, and so that we cannot see our head scalp skin. So this is very important, and this is just used to cover our scalp. So in this layer you can easily duplicate the similar pattern. You can follow the same direction, but you have to remember this, it should be a volumetric as your block out. You can go an intersection with each other, but there is no worry in first layer. But when you move forward with second layer, please do avoid difference in hair stands intersection with each other. Try to avoid any intersection in hair cards. But you can group them. You can take 2 or 3 hair stands group and group each other to create a big clumps. Now in the third layer is mostly about very small forms like flyaways. Sometimes they replicate in the same as second or third layer, but as the flyaways in random, and that is totally fine. So the flyaways just show us to a randomness and cut in clumps in hairstyle, but as a highest level it has to some specific direction. It may take the hairstyle look more natural. This is we use the flyaways nowadays. Now let's move in with Maya and set up our hair workplace. So here is the one important thing, for open or loose hair grooming. Always start from bottom part of your hair layer, then go for second floor, then so on. Move upward from down to up. This is a best practice to create your hairstyle. So this is very important to create your big clumps forms. So this will help you to create a volumes to make some realistic part of this realistic clumps without any interface. So the process is used from bottom to upper layer. So let's start with the Maya and import our block out. Now try to keep your timeline clean as possible, and I'm going to assign a new material to my blockout, and I just place it in a separate layer. So it is a good practice to keep your blockout in separate layer. So now make sure you're placing your head or your blockout in a center of your viewport. So just press D to edit pivot and click on this middle model and snap to the center grid. So now your model is ready. Just go to freeze transformation and clear your all history. Now just take a plane and just remove extra edges, just one plane for 4 vertex and 4 edges itself. Now scale it, and the size of the head model is the size of the hair strands, so just maintain this kind of size. So now assign a new material, Lambert. Now just name it base hair cards. Now here you can see on this color in material setting, select our albedo texture file. So you have to select this file menu and just select our albedo texture file. Now to preview this texture, just press 6 key. You can see now we have our albedo time on my plane. Okay, then I will separate my texture into different part of my hair strands, so which we called it as hair cards. So now just add multiple edges in between these kind of hair cards and make sure all of your hair strands are not intersect each other. Now we want to insert multiple edges like this. Let's 5 or 4 or 6. This would be good enough. So now separate them by just extracting this plane. Now you can just look your outline and you want to drag all your geometry from group to clean the history. So make sure to clean your outline history, because when you work with your thousands of hair cards, so that will may crash your Maya software because it's so heavy. So to avoid them, just keep cleaning your work history time by time and keep your outline clean as possible. So I keep and also press save button to save your file first. So when you have prepared your scene for work, I also tweak these vertex and little bit inner. So before that, you have to just click on this mouse tool settings and option these kind of preserve UVs. So now when you move your vertex to save some space, so this will maintain your UVs texture. So just don't move much, just little bit, and maintain this kind of space. Now here this is the time to reset your pivot point. So you can reset the pivot point to the root of your hair, because this is a point, this is a root of your hair where you maintain or rotate or deform your hair cards and give a specific direction, a specific flow according to your hairstyle. So you can just press D key, D for dog, D key, and click on the root of the hair stands, or you can also move your pivot point to the root. So again you can press D to set the pivot point right in the root of each hair strand. So just do this to all the hair cards one by one. So just moving forward, you can see now our hair cards are ready. Now I'm going for my hair card placements process. So for that, let's create one separate shelf or a separate menu, so that where we can take all our important function or important tools to make faster and smooth workflow. So with the help of these, we can get all important tools and option in one place. So to do that, click on this setting gear icon here on this left side corner. Select this new shelf. Now name it card placement, or you can name anything. Now to add your favorite tools or function, just hold Ctrl Shift and click on that function or tool. So let's select, first time go for delete history. So just delete by type history and just hold Ctrl Shift and click on this delete history. Now you can see I have my delete history icon on my customized shelf. So you can add as many as shelf or icons on this specific customized shelf. So like this, you can add many shortcuts over here. So go for freeze transformation. Here you can see then another word showing this kind of all deformation. I'm selecting all useful tools like smooth, lock, normal, unlock normal, and all these deformation. So just hold Ctrl Shift and click on all deformation like bend, flare, twist sign. The last one is my UV editor window itself. So these are the important tools and function. We spend over 90% of time with these tools only in this card placement method. So now I'm just selecting my card and click on any deformation you want to like I'm going to bend it, so I'm just select bend. So here is a one important thing to understand. So if they are in position along the hair strength, you can see, so make sure they are positioned in the right way on these hair cards, because when you manipulate the hair cards in a bend position, it will bend with respect to these hair strands or this hair position. So now just play with our hair cards and just duplicate these kind of groups of strands and move them aside, and now I'm going to place them on my scalp. Now just select and place it on the scalp. So the main thing is to place these from this root side, because it really depends the direction and position of to them. So this kind of root hairline. So to get more control on this root part of strand, so I have just added one extra edge on this, so that you can easily bend from here, so to place in the proper hairlines, and it looks like that it grows from your skin head. So I start with the most dense hair strength and creating my first layer of my hair, like my scalp cap or head cap. So this is mostly useful to deform all the bend and flare in a twist. So the main purpose of this first layer to cover my head scalp totally, because this layer is only gives you a dense look or a volumetric look. And here I'm showing you a different way to create this kind of hair cards and placing technique for character scalp. So just make sure just use which method is more comfortable with you. So use many deformation as you need. Now let's moving on, and I'm going to show you the another best way to create a hair cards. So it's using Quadro. This technique is best for short hairstyle or for men or for any hairstyle workflow. So for that, just select the model head and make it live. Over here you can see this kind of magnet like icon. Now go to this model tools and select Quadro. Now you can draw your hair strands on this head. So here you can manage all the hair flow and direction with the Quadro tools. Now here I am clicking on the head surface and create a box mesh, and by holding shift key you can get you mesh in the blue color, you can see like this. Now again click and create a vertex and press shift key to snap the blue mesh. You can see you can easily snap and create as long or as many kind of mesh. So now our mesh is ready, but the problem is this mesh has no UV yet. When you're done with your hair cards, you have to create your UVs, and this is very simple to do that. Just turn off the Quadro and just make a soft edge. Now go to this UV editor and now go to face mode and select all faces. Now just go to modifier and select utilize. So it will set all the quads in uniform size. Now go to edge mode and select all edges. Now go to cut and sew. Now here is the option move and sew. So it will move your quads and sew your edges to each other. So this will open and move all your UV in correct 2D plane. Now you can see here. So this is our texture sheet. So now go to unfold, and over here the small box called unfold settings. So we need to do some modifier here. So here for this unfold setting window, select this method to legacy and select this unfold constraint to vertical and just hit apply multiple times. Now you can see your UV in this vertical way from root to tip direction. So now we have created our UV and with our texture sheet here. So we have to set this UV material same as our texture sheet. So for that, just go to the hair cards mesh. This is my mesh which I drawn from my Quadro technique, and just assign my exiting material. This material is same as my hair cards. So just assign the hair card base card material here. So now you can see our texture sheet and this hair card strands has same material in UV also. So we can manage and adjust the position of hair cards so that our texture sheet will project texture on cards easily. So this is how we can create our hair cards using Quadro and project texture on it. So this is very easy and simple way. So it is just used to by assigning same material and by adjusting UV. Now you can just duplicate and create a new hair cards. So by just maintain this to avoid an intersection like this, and just you can move with a soft edge or soft brush. So these are the way to create these kind of hair cards. So now let's move to the main part of our video, which is hair card placements. I usually use ZBrush software to do hair card placement workflow because I find ZBrush is more handy and easy to work with these hair cards. So let's go to ZBrush and start placing hair cards. So just import our hair cards from Maya, or you can also create your hair cards over in ZBrush also. And to add a texture, so go to this texture menu, and over here just import my albedo texture map and select this texture here. Now here is a button for transparency. This is very important to click on this. So click on this button to flip your UV vertex, because ZBrush import maps in opposite direction. So just click once on this flip button. Now in this tool menu, go to this texture and select the texture on. Now you can see our texture hair cards with albedo map are showing in this screen. So you can easily manipulate and place your card from here. So now here, when you select your hair cards and press W, so it will show you this kind of gizmo. Now on this setting gear icon, you can see there are so many options of deformation like bend, deform, taper, twist, and so many. So I just suggest you to take some time and explore all these options. With the help of these options, I will place the card on my head model. So now it's time to do some deformation. So with this our hair cards. So now just select this hair card and duplicate it. Now just move aside and press W key to get this gizmo, and click on this setting gear icon. Over here we have some deformation. Now I press this bend or taper, twist, and many more. With the help of these tools, you can easily place and shape your hairstyles. So you can also use this move tool to avoid any intersection between these cards. So now I'm just going to make my first layer. I'm just going to cover my first head scalp. We just maintain this kind of hairlines. So this after this there is very simple process. Just take a card, move aside, and maintain, taper, and deform it to give a specific form and size of this head scalp. So this is our first layer. So guys, I hope you are like this, and this is all about practice. So go and take your time, give us sufficient practice to your skill. This is not a hard and any rocket science. It's just all about practice, practice, and practice. Okay then, in the next video I will show you the time lapse where we create my hairstyles, and after that I will show you some rendered settings. So keep in touch and subscribe this channel. Thank you so much. Have fun.
29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set the rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. Come one in a dozen, the other 11 get something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away, but now I see what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. Life changes just open the door. One thing's certain, I'll always be yours. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours. I never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Here we go, turning all the wrongs into rights. Here we go, you could take me there tonight. Whoa, this life is all we know. Whoa, I can't stay if you can't let it go. I never really know what's going on. And even when you're next to me, I feel like you were gone. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. At 29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kinda funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set the rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I see what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening?